Greetings and welcome to this week's True Sky Sidereal Astrological Weather Report for the week of Monday, January 6th to Sunday, January 12th, 2025, the first report of the new Gregorian calendar year. If you're new here, this type of astrology differs from mainstream, tropical, Western, popularized social media astrology in the sense that it is actually looking at where the luminaries are in real time in the visible sky as they travel the line of the ecliptic, this path that you're seeing on the screen here, moving through the various star groupings and constellations known as the zodiac, creating alchemical energy combinations from the luminary and the star groupings that create conditions for us to play with on Earth. This differs from tropical or mainstream social media popularized astrology in that it actually looks at where the luminaries are in the visible sky. Tropical Western astrology is a seasonal social construct that is the same every year, like Groundhog Day, not taking into consideration the fact that the stars shift 1 degree every 72 years in the sky. So right now, at present, the sun, as you can see, is actually in Sagittarius, not Capricorn, as tropical or Western astrology is reporting. So the sun is well set into this Sagittarius mutable fire, fresh creation energy, with Mercury following suit. Mercury is often pretty close to the sun. It will be moving into that Sagittarius energy this week. So new, fresh ways of thinking and communicating after a long period of death and rebirth with the Scorpio and Ophiuchus axis. You can look at some of my previous videos if you want to learn more about that. Moving down the line of the ecliptic, we have Pluto here just at the edge of Capricorn. That's right, Pluto, our friend, is only just barely entering Capricorn, but that is not a bad thing, don't worry. We also have now in the line here into Aquarius, Venus at home now in Aquarius, so valuing different ways of thinking, unconventional relationships, being outside of the box. Saturn right at home in Aquarius as well. And then we have Neptune here right also at home in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces, and as you can see, Pisces is quite large, so we have a long period of time of deep spirituality and like intangibility, and the veil being pretty thin as Neptune continues to move through Pisces. Then just moving down the line of the ecliptic here, Aries, not much going on in the Ram currently, this part of the sky. Taurus, the bull, again, you can see the differing sizes of these constellations as Taurus is quite large compared to Aries. We have Uranus and Jupiter here, still both in Taurus, and will be for some time because they both move slowly and it's a huge constellation. Nothing really going on in Gemini, although Mars retrograde in Cancer is getting pretty close to the cusp of Gemini. So we might have some of that that Gemini flexible thinking energy kind of coming into the Mars retrograde, which I will go into more detail when we do the rundown at the end. But Mars retrograde in Cancer has been going on for some time, and I've touched on this in some other forecasts and content that I've created on TikTok in particular. Virgo here, another large constellation. Libra, not much going on in this part of the sky. Just finally making our way back here to Mercury that is just exiting Ophiuchus. So you can see here the Scorpio and Ophiuchus axis. Ophiuchus acting as the higher octave of Scorpio, creating death and rebirth right over the galactic center, which is a black hole in the womb of our universe. So the sun and Mercury have been going through this portal. We've had a lot of activity going on, a lot of pause energy, a lot of rethinking things, a lot of karma and karmic debt and triggers coming up in order for us to look at and move forward with the fresh new energy that is now coming into play. Okay, so let's start off this week's transits with the moon. The moon moves 13 degrees in the sky every day. What an interesting number for it to move. So it's changing signs every like 2 to 3 days, depending on which constellation it's in. Because I remember some of them are bigger than others. So this week, we're just coming off of a new moon. So we had a new moon last week, which was very much giving New Year's vibes, which is odd because normally the Gregorian calendar does not add up as far as that is concerned. But all of the energies, like I just described, coming out of that Scorpio and Ophiuchus axis into Sagittarius really is giving fresh new start, fresh creation based on new understandings, building a new foundation, letting the old foundation crumble, and then building your new creation basically is the energy that I'm getting, the vibe that is coming through with these various aspects. The moon in particular currently, so right now as I'm recording this on Monday, it is in Pisces. It'll be in Pisces until Tuesday, early Wednesday. So a very receptive energy. The moon, remember, is our emotions. It's the luminary that is the closest to us. It acts like a magnet to pull energy from us. And where we're at right now in the lunar cycle, just a week after the new moon, so we're in the first quarter. This is our action phase, right? So you might be feeling more motivated to actually take action on some of the revelations and new ways of thinking and being that came to you through this period of murkiness and all of the energetic waves that have been hitting us. Wednesday and a little bit into Thursday, the moon will be in Aries, that cardinal fire, self-centered, not in a bad way kind of energy. And then Thursday through the rest of the week, Sunday, it will be in Taurus because Taurus is huge. So really some grounding energy from the moon rounding out the week, which is good because looking at the aspects this week, there's not a lot going on, but it is kind of a spacey week. So there's a lot of action with Pisces and Neptune and various aspects interacting with either of those signs. So starting the week off on Monday, we have Mercury squaring Neptune. So Mercury just changing signs into Sagittarius. So Mercury, the planet of communication and transmission, how we think, how we communicate, how we think. In Sagittarius, that mutable fire, that fresh creation, like bigger picture, philosopher, freedom energy, all of that is coming in with that Sagittarius energy. And Mercury squaring Neptune. Neptune is right at home in Pisces. Neptune in Pisces is like double Pisces energy, basically. So a square between Mercury in Sagittarius and Pisces, Neptune in Pisces can create kind of this spacey, dreamy, like rose-colored glasses kind of energy. But on the flip side, it can also create apathy or like immobility, like kind of that analysis paralysis and not actually taking action. So if you're feeling a little spacey today, that might be why. This is facilitated or reinforced by the moon also being Pisces. So lots of receptive, spacey, deep spiritual kind of energy going on today and tomorrow. Wednesday and into Thursday, we have the sun squaring Chiron. So this is a minor aspect, but there's not much going on this week, so we'll report on it. So the sun illuminates. Chiron is our healing. Okay, Chiron is also in Pisces. I didn't include it in the rundown because I use an astronomical app, not an astrological app. So the app that I was using to chart the sky doesn't show Chiron, and I if it does, I can't figure out how to put it on there. But Chiron is in Pisces. Okay, so the sun squaring healing in Pisces. Okay, so just more illuminating that kind of energy of healing. While this is going on, the moon is going to be in Aries. So focus on ourselves, emotions involving the self as we heal these deep spiritual wounds. And finally, Saturday and Sunday-ish, we have Mars trining Neptune. So Mars retrograde in Cancer, trining Neptune again in Pisces. Okay, so the trine is like a really harmonious aspect. It really complements each other. So Mars retrograde in Cancer right now. Mars is the self. Mars is Aries energy. Mars is assertion, desires, what we want to do, how we want to do it. How we want to engage with the world, basically. Action is Mars. And retrograde means there's always a pause, right? It's reconsidering, looking at things differently, trying to have a different go at things, basically. And in Cancer is an uncomfortable placement for Mars, okay? Cardinal fire with Mars, cardinal water with Cancer, okay? Fire and water don't mix typically. So Mars is kind of uncomfortable in Cancer because it's very emotional, right? Cancer is the mother wound. It is roots. It is nurturing. It is caregiving. So Mars retrograding Cancer is looking at how our needs are being met or how they're not being met, maybe having emotional reactions, kind of spicy reactions to our needs not being met, or feeling the need to really enforce our own needs, like having that kind of protector vibe around our own needs and those who are close to us. So that trining with Neptune in Pisces is just adding a really dreamy layer to that. So like this nice harmony between our desires, our needs being met, protecting what's important to us with this really deep spirituality and the ability to access other realms beyond the material, right? We just had a really big aspect last week with Mars opposing Pluto. Pluto in Capricorn, the ego killer, the death bringer, basically. So those two in opposition really brought light to what systems and institutions and social structures, like how are these rigid structures limiting your ability to take care of yourself and others, right? So we're just kind of coming out of that energy. So now having this nice trine with Neptune is bringing in a spiritual layer to dream up the new earth. Like, what is a different set of structures? How can we create like rules and regulations that actually facilitate human development, self-realization, and self-actualization, as opposed to keeping us limited in a system that has us hooked on production and consumption? So overall, just some easier energy to work with, might feel a little bit easier to go with the flow. You might find yourself having a bit more compassion or a little bit more breathing room this week, while also feeling a bit more connected to the etheric. If you've been following my content on TikTok, I've been monitoring the Schumann resonance and solar flare activity with these various aspects, and they have calmed down this week as well. Hop on over to TikTok if you want to see my update there. But that's it for this transmission as far as the true sky sidereal astrological weather for the week. I would say like it is feeling more refreshed and a little bit more easygoing. Maybe a nice week to get some action going on your plans as far as the intentions that you set with the last new moon in Sagittarius. So what is it that you're creating? What is it that you're feeling called to create? How can you create more than you're consuming? This is the big message that I've been getting lately, is stop consuming and start creating. So what is it that you're going to put out into the world? Leave me a comment and let me know. That's it for this week, folks. If you like this sort of content, give me a like, a share, a subscribe, a follow, whichever platform you're on. Consider making a donation to support my cause, and or book a reading with me, since I do that as well. Send me a DM and we can chat, or stay tuned until the next transmission.